Hey, Dave.
Hi, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm fine, David. How are you?
Well, I've been feeling a little bit weird lately. I think I might be stuck in a QuickTime event.
I would think so, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, well, ever since QuickTime events started invading places they really shouldn't be, life has gotten a little bit harder. So if you could just press the skip to review button next time, that'd be great. Oh, thank God. I don't even know where they have that button. Oh, all right. Let's go.
You know what? No. I'm not even going to ask anymore. I'm not even going to ask. I am not even going to question anymore the bullshit that goes on around here.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because I'm the one who's always doing the weird shit. We watched a movie today.
Animen. Galactic Battle.
Galactic Battle. That was literally 50 to 60% of the movie, was that one galactic
So
battle.
the title kind of didn't lie.
Yes.
And it's true that these were men, for the most part,
Anna.
that were animated.
A+ titling. Good job. Get it.
It's kind of like almost if they had the title for the Animaniacs, but they didn't go as far as to put all that many syllables in it.
They're not
they're like, that's way too much. We're just Animen. Yeah.
Animen is a Chinese-created animated film.
See, I don't know if that's the original title.
It may not be, but that's what we got. So, yeah. Okay, if you've seen any of our other reviews, this is about the time where I go over the plot of the movie. I can't. I am virtually unable to do the plot of this movie. Now, that's not because I didn't try. I tried. And when the movie wasn't clear, when it wasn't making any fucking sense as to what was happening, usually I just go to Google, which then tells me these things that I never would have imagined were true. Google doesn't even know what the fucking plot is either. I can't find a single place that has managed to decipher in a synopsis format the entirety of the plot.
The only thing that we do know...
Well, yeah, this is the distant future. At least, this was one source's thing. Maybe this wasn't even true. It didn't come from an official source, so whatever. This is the distant future. Think WALL-E happened, pretty much, and everyone went out into space. But instead of staying up in a ship, they went out to different planets. And humans evolved to adapt to those planets. And for some reason, war's broken out between the... the Empire and the Rebels. Jesus Christ.
Because we're humans. Fuck it.
Yeah, we cannot fight.
It's what we do.
So there's the Star World Alliance and the Swarm.
I will get to that in a bit.
They are fighting over these things called Who Chips.
Or Hugh.
They are fighting over the MacGuffin. And the majority of the plot are these soldiers that are trying to protect this general who's trying to get through with this one Who chip that could be the key to winning this war for the Alliance.
He splits halfway through the battle.
That's the rest of the movie is all just about
and it's a battle between two people.
Yeah, pretty much. Two people. One person we didn't even think should have been a main character, and the
One
other
person we didn't realize
Fuck
that
it.
was going to be a main character. But all right,
and the other person is the only evil character with a name.
Yeah.
You think like, oh, well, think Star Wars. There's the Emperor. There's Darth Vader. There's every other Sith Lord you meet in the prequels. There's all these Boba Fett, Jango Fett, all these people that are Alliance that's bad. Meanwhile, there's Xanthor. Xanthor.
I'm surprised that you remembered his name, to be honest.
Yep, I got skills.
Xanabar. But the fact of the matter is, alright, I'm going to say I got a couple qualms of mine that I saw. Now, one thing that factual that we do know about this is that this is not the first movie made off of this. I'm not necessarily saying that this is not the first official movie in the series.
No, yeah, I got you.
Because there is an Animen 2 coming out, which is the sequel to this. But the original, maybe it's a short for all I know.
No, it's an hour and something minutes.
Okay, well,
it's 2010 here. It's called Animen Triton Force, directed by the same guy. As far as I can tell, it's the same cast.
So maybe this is just an addition of it. I haven't seen it. We were not aware that this was a part of a series.
No, we thought this was a one-off.
Yeah, like we didn't do that much research before we saw it. I picked this movie because it was at the very, very bottom of the sci-fi list. And we hadn't done a sci-fi movie in a while, so.
Real quick, I'm going to speed through the plot for the first movie and see if this resolves anything. Okay. Over time, the people residing on Swampland begin to take on new forms. Their modified DNA altering their physiology to better suit their new environment. Generations pass and their original forms were forgotten. These humans have evolved into a new race, the Frogmen. That solves the thing we were wondering about earlier.
Yeah.
If history and genetics, for that matter, show us anything, it is that there is always a variety. The genetic success of the Frogmen was also mirrored by the achievements of another group of human descent, the cockroaches, otherwise known as the Tazir Allowance. The brutal poured out of the galaxy seeking new territories, resources, and data crystals left by the original human explorers. The material-driven hunger broke up the peaceful lives of the Frogmen, forcing them to take up arms in order to stop the insatiable ambitions. Thus began the Malo War.
Okay, you kept going bleh through so much of
that. The blah blah was all one thing. I just can't pronounce it.
Were they the swarm?
I gather yes, because they were the cockroaches, remember?
Yeah.
So it seemed like it was the same thing, but all the names had been changed.
Yeah.
That's confusing. Anyway.
Alright, and so like we were also kind of left a little bit in the dark with this type of stuff because of the fact this was coming in. We were like 20 minutes into the movie when we realized that this was a movie in a series. So like no wonder so much shit feels like it's missing because we're missing the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I have a qualm with this movie, and maybe I'm reaching here, but at the same time, though, I see too many similarities. The idea behind this, it has unique basis. Like the concept behind this is not bad. But at the same time, I have a feeling they took a lot from a handful of video games. Oh. And most prominent in that group is they took stuff from StarCraft.
Yeah.
Because, one, if anyone's played StarCraft and you've played as the Zerg and whatnot, they're known as the Swarm. They're also known as bugs and insect creatures. A bunch of the different types of versions of Zerglings and whatnot, like they're like that. Also, they respond to one overriding will, whether it be the Overmind or the Queen of Blades.
The Hive Mind.
The Hive Mind mentality. Another thing is, though, the ships and whatnot in this movie also versus the Zerg ships. Well, the Zerg ships are almost entirely organic, where these are partially organic and partially machine. But there's obviously some living aspect to it.
Right.
So the fact of the matter is, I see way too much shit. Also, the main bad guy in this, what's his name again?
Xanthor.
He looks like a combination of Terrell's character from Legacy of Kain. If anyone is familiar with that series, he's one of your vampire brothers. And also, if you take his original design and you mix together his god design, Hashnadik from Defiance, you mix those two characters together, and boom! You have the villain for this movie. Literally.
Voiced by the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
He doesn't sound like Winnie.
There are 8 actors in this movie.
And we knew almost all of them.
And they do all the voices.
I'm gonna throw this out there.
And every voice from anything since 1995 on.
I'm gonna throw out what I knew them for. And if you catch on, then you catch on. Roy Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist. Spike from Cowboy Bebop, also known as Tom from Toonami, and Stephen Bloom. Oh wait, that was Stephen Bloom. My bad. Sorry.
Boom!
Fuck, who was the third guy? That, like, we definitely knew.
It
might have been Jim Cummings. Jim Cummings is the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
It's
like, the thing is, though, I don't know these guys' names. Like,
oh, wait, you had the one that was in, Gargoyles.
Oh, Keith David.
Keith David
gets a performance like he does not give a fuck what's going on.
I guess we'll move
into
acting here.
Yeah, I might as well, because we're going into voice actors.
Yeah.
All right, the voice actors in this, you have heard them everywhere. Mm-hmm. Believe me. Like, so these are some of the most prolific voice actors in the business, period. From before, now, and what will ever be. It's pretty mind-boggling. Yeah. But the one voice that I recognize the most out of all these cast members is Keith David, who obviously does the voice of Goliath from Gargoyles, but he does so much other shit. Like, he was in the Final Fantasy movie. He was one of the council members. But the thing is, actually, he has way more credits than I even know. I have not seen his entire filmography. It's insane. He was in the Barbershop movies. Or at least in the second one. It was fun. But at the same time, Keith David I consider to be probably one of the better voice actors. He played Shadow Man in Princess and the Frog. And he sung the song, too, which was awesome. Yeah, he has 247 credits on IMDb alone. And IMDb, as you know, is like a glorified Wikipedia, so he's probably been in a lot more.
Moving on, I'm going to go to Jim Cummings.
All right, go Jim.
Who played Xanthor.
Xanthor, yes. And every villain ever.
Okay, it's partially script writing.
Yes.
But I'm going to chalk it up to acting as well. He is the definition of stereotypical gloating villain. I will crush you. Up. You are monologue. You're weak. Monologuing. It's fucking forever, man. It's so boring. It's not even like if he had a deeper seated motive or something where he was like, "Don't you even wonder why we're doing this?" And he explained a reason that made the audience sit there and go, whoa. Well, they might be right.
You know what he did?
He just sat there and he's like,
take over the galaxy!
Of course! But all he was doing the entire time against this one dude who was Keith David's character. This one dude made up like
Brass.
25...
Brass.
Yes, Brass. Made up a 25-minute battle. One-on-one.
Between a giant metal killer bee
and a giant metal killer frog.
Yeah, it was literally killer bees versus battletoads. And it was ridiculous.
Yeah. It would have been fine if it was shorter, but they fought around the surface of the sun.
That battle lasted fucking forever.
Then they crashed into a meteor, and then they fought on the meteor forever. Then there's this part that we thought was pretty cool, where because of different gravities, they did the Mario Galaxy thing, where there was one running on this surface and one running on that surface,
and they're all fighting and jumping around and whatnot. That was cool. But the thing is, though, that was it.
Yeah,
you had one cool moment out of the entire hour and a half of this movie, and also though, this movie was not poorly animated. It wasn't. Now, there was plenty of times where some things just kind of left the screen before they were supposed to.
Hold on. Before we...
One thing I want to say about the animation, though, and I've said this several times during the movie, this looks like a collection of cutscenes.
Thus the opening.
See, the thing is, though, alright, there's a lot of video games that I won't be able to get to play because I don't have the console or whatever and whatnot, and I'm a broke son of a bitch.
# buy Madden Xbox.
No, PS4. I want to play Fallout.
No.
But the thing is, I sometimes I watch game movies and whatnot, because they'll be like games that I won't get an opportunity to play and whatnot. Also, the stories I happen to like. That's how I'm able to know what happens in Heavy Rain and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, though, this movie, not only are the animation literally on par with a early 2000s engine.
It struck me as mid 360 era.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as early 360.
Before Halo.
No.
I think it was like the engines like before Halo.
Halo 3 maybe, but Halo 1, you look back at that shit's...
Okay, I'll say around about Halo 2, actually.
Okay.
Like around about Halo 2, that's kind of like the engine what they had going there. It was pretty smoothed over, and Dave and I both agree like there should be more texturing going on.
Yeah, everyone looked like they were just like...
Everything was so clean and
essentially,
neat and
you know how...
polished.
You may not have this in all
everything was
countries.
rounded.
May not have this in all countries, but Silly Putty, when you first take it out of the egg, how it's like perfectly shiny and smooth, that's what it looks like on everything. And these are war-torn people, mind you.
Yeah.
They fought in battles. They don't have a scar on them. Fuck these frogmen.
And the thing is, though, like a lot, you seem to have these ideas with something because that's the thing. All these ideas are pieces. If you actually, all the fight scenes, if you extended them out into actual levels, this is a fucking video game.
Yeah.
This was a video game. Like, all right, this feels like Halo. It's like, all right, let's play. Well, actually, even better, it's the new version of Star Fox because then this time you just play as the frog.
Pretty much, yeah, Slippy.
This is what happens when this is Slippy's story. All of a sudden, it just comes out of nowhere. It's like, do a barrel roll.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I've been rolling over on it. I'm not entirely sure that it... I mean, obviously it wasn't. But I feel like at some point they were trying to do a video game. Almost.
It feels like this was...
Like, it didn't feel like this was the video game itself, but it felt like they were making it with... like
these were the cutscenes.
90s cartoons.
Yeah.
90s cartoons were designed to sell toys. That's what they were.
A lot of them, yeah.
80s and 90s. That's like, how do we turn this into a small plastic figure that kids will eat up? And a lot of shows were designed around that. Like, to the point of they built the characters based off of what mold castings they already had.
Yeah.
So, I feel like this was somewhat trying to do that, where they're like, look, if we give everyone the same sort of mech suit, we don't have to have additional resources if they change characters. If we make them all look the same except color coded differently, we can save that much more RAM. I just feel like it was like planning for a video game.
Yeah.
In some way.
This looks like the beta release of a video game. And don't get me wrong, there are some pretty creative designs here, but the thing is, the creative designs does not extend to the characters.
No.
I'm sorry.
That's what I want
to say. The character designs I thought were silly. Mm-hmm. And also, they seemed really incomplete. The spaceship designs were cool.
Yeah, up to a point.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, though, like, I was more impressed with the swarm ships mm-hmm. and whatnot. They had a more dynamic range to them, even though at the same time, you never explained why. It's probably because you were jacking StarCraft.
With that sort of thing. You were saying that the animation's fluid.
And also, they look like the Reaver ships from Halo. They really do.
You were saying that the animation looks fluid.
I'm sorry,
and while I agree that it does look very fluid, like, for each of its movements, in the way of, and I brought this up to you, in the way of conversation, in the way of characters talking, no, not even lip flaps. We'll get to lip flaps.
That was really bad.
What I'm saying is that here is a conversation. Okay, you start. Anything.
You want some chips?
Yeah, sure, I'll take a few. It's just pauses. These
very long pauses.
It made you feel like they were sitting there, waiting for the QuickTime event to go off. Just looking for their choices in Mass Effect. It's like, well, this one's going to get me some good points there. But I'm really going for the evil ending.
Tell me more about the Reapers.
Yeah, what can you tell me about the Reapers?
It keeps going, too. Even in the fights.
Yeah, no, like, there was a high-pressure situation. Extremely, like, swarm ships. They are
just everywhere.
Yeah, swarm ships are currently everywhere. We have to go. Damn it, let's go! It's like, sir, pick up the pace.
It's like...
All right, but lip flaps if you want.
None of this plot made sense. The plot itself was very simple. This guy has a chip he needs to bring back to humanity, and thus...
If you call them humanity.
Well, they have to bring back to the Alliance and whatever to help them win this war. Alright, I get that. It's very A New Hope.
Get the book off and bring it to X. Cool.
Exactly. But the thing is, though, you don't spend enough time. See, like, if this was a video game, you'd probably be able to go around to each character and get immersed in the lore, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, you can't do that with this movie. So the thing is, we need a lot of bases for it. Even the Lord of the Rings had a fucking prologue. The Lord of the Rings had a prologue in every single movie. Like, it's, but, alright. I can't really say much more about except for the fact that the mouth movements are ungodly bad. Like, it's not like they barely even tried. They barely even tried. Now believe me, I understand. I went through college. I understand. I went through college. I have many friends who were animators through college. I've seen them work on this type of animation software by themselves. Mm-hmm. Wow, I could not even try to do what you guys do.
Oh, no.
But the thing is, though, this doesn't look like it's hand animated with the mouths moving. This looks like it's set to a program, specifically.
Like it just reads the...
It reads like the sound wave.
Like the sound wave. It's like, here it's loud, open. Here it's not quiet.
Do you know what also did that? Do you know what the funny thing is? The mouth capture software from the movie's video game is actually better at recognizing lip movements from sound than this movie is. Wow. And that's saying a lot, because that game was made literally like 6-7 years ago.
Okay, you want to do final thoughts?
I'm pretty much,
okay.
I'm wrapped up.
Alright, I'll start with my final thoughts then, because we haven't done that in a while. I don't know what I disliked about it so much. Don't get me wrong, I'm not raging. Like, it's not like, dear God, this movie, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think it deserves to be at the bottom of the list.
It was a whole bunch of nothing. Like, the worst thing, I said this just as the movie ended, a giant space battle just finished. A mech suit space battle with giant swords and guns just
fighting around the sun.
And I was bored. What does that say? Either my standards are far too high, which, trust me, I don't think they are. Or,
after doing this show.
Not after doing this. Or, this was boring. And that's what I think it really was. It was boring. Maybe it was because we didn't watch the first one. I doubt it, because the characters weren't that interesting to begin with. Like, even if you didn't watch New Hope, and you jumped straight into Empire Strikes Back...
Which is exactly what I did, by the way, when I was a kid.
Were you invested in Luke, Leia, and Han?
Absolutely.
Without having seen them in the first movie?
Yes.
Why can't you do that here? You can get us interested in characters. It's not. I don't even know what characters didn't show up in the previous movie. And why the next one's called Animen 2 if there was a previous movie. But, okay, whatever.
Hey, you know what? The funny thing is, though, when it comes down... excuse me. When it comes down to movies, when jumping into a different... into the movies, or into a video game series for that matter, think about this. In Halo 2, you could jump into Halo 2 without playing Halo 1 and still get what the fuck went on.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have necessarily all the shit that went on, obviously.
But you could understand.
They fill in the gaps. The fact of the matter is, though, this movie depends on people either A, seeing the prequel, or B, knowing everything that there is to know about this movie.
No, but here's the thing. There was a opening scene where they're sitting in a bar, and it's two guys talking, and they are essentially giving you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
But because we don't have any sort of understanding of the universe or anything like that, we don't know what is important to keep note of and what's just like two guys talking in a bar. Because they have that part of their conversation too. Also,
character placement in space is awful.
Yeah.
You cannot tell where people are, especially in the middle of space. It's when they're in the mech suits and whatnot. All the mech suits look alike, so you have no idea who the fuck you're looking at. I don't remember learning any of the characters' names because...
Brass,
these characters...
Xanthor!
They were like the Ginyu Force.
Raccoon!
Like, seriously. They begin the movie with shenanigans and whatnot, and they end up getting reprimanded. Like, these are your best troops.
Yep.
Really? Guys, this is not the Edge of Tomorrow.
There was
that's not how this works.
There's a whole thing with like a high chancellor that they were talking to in the beginning. There was this lady character who never showed up more than twice. There was an entire like council that Steve
there's the secondary plot, and it never goes anywhere.
So what the fuck was this first movie? Because you don't have to introduce in the second movie if you're not gonna, care.
But the thing is, though, even in the second, like in Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, you still knew who the fuck Gandalf was.
Yeah.
His beginning in the very beginning with Moria, and then him showing up later on in the movie. Spoilers. It's like, it's been out for over 10 years. Get used to it. But the thing is, though, like even though when he's really revealed later in the movie, if you haven't even seen the first movie, you still get an idea of who the fuck the guy is.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, we have no precedence for any of this because none of these characters have any lasting effect. Think about this. In Guardians of the Galaxy, I watched that movie, loved it, thought it was a great movie. But the thing is, though, from that movie, movies like the character Thanos and Ronan, besides the fact that you know that these guys are homicidal maniacs, there's no basis that this movie gives you for anything else in their characters. But at the same time, though, they never make you feel like you need any more than that.
No. They don't play up Thanos. Like, they don't... If Guardians of the Galaxy...
Even if you haven't seen any of the other material around it, dealing with Thanos at all. Like, the thing is, though, I don't even really read that much into Marvel Comics and whatnot. I know who fucking Thanos is. He's a guy who wants to take over the universe and destroy everything else.
I know a bit more than that, but yes.
Yeah,
But like, if Guardians of the Galaxy were to make Thanos the big final villain...
Yeah.
Like, if Ronan was just a red herring and Thanos was the big final villain, but they gave him the exact same amount of screen time and development and all that, it would have been shit.
Yeah.
It would have been absolutely shit. But instead, they realized, all right, we're focusing on Ronan. We're going to give him the development.
And there wasn't even a lot of development and whatnot. You got his basic background and what was going on. We don't have that with this villain or these heroes and whatnot.
Or anyone.
You have no background for these characters. And also... From what I'm gathering, these characters were not originally in the first movie. The first movie is focused mostly on the character General Moss.
Who was the guy who had the Who chip, which I want to say something real quick.
Hold on, I'm not done yet.
Okay, sorry.
And so the thing is, though, like, there might be a basis to that, but all the rest of these characters were first introduced in this movie. And also, a couple of these characters died. I'm still
not entirely sure who died.
I know. None of these characters had a lasting impression, but that's the problem. You can't introduce protagonists and not have any aspect of them for us to care about. One of the reasons why The Last Starfighter was such a great movie is because it made us care about the protagonist. Because we were in his shoes. These guys, I never got a sense that they ever, felt... Yeah, I'm judging an animation by this standard, guys, people, so shut the fuck up. Because the thing is, though, not you, the thing is, though, when it comes down to it, these characters, nothing what they did ever made me feel that they were in danger. None of them ever made me feel that they actually cared for one another, except going, no. I mean, like, no, that's not how it does. And... Alright, I'm wrapping up my rant here. The fact of the matter is, though, this movie is unbelievably irrelevant. It's made itself irrelevant because it tried to do... I don't even know what it tried to do, to be honest, actually. Usually when it comes down to these types of movies, it feels like, they tried to do too much and ended up doing nothing at all. Well, this almost feels like it tried to do nothing, and it ended up doing a lot of nothing.
I got it. First off, I wanted to say the one thing about Who chips. We have no fucking idea what Who chips do. Period.
I think I know what they are.
Same here. I think they're knowledge about the old human race because they forgot about
Forerunner artifacts.
Pretty much. They forgot about...
Who's ready for Halo 5?
They forgot about how their human origins pretty much over all the years.
Yeah.
How that helps the Alliance win, I don't know. If anything, it'll say, here's humans' weakness. Death.
I think we did that joke too during his He's like nothing can stop the swarm. Well, death can.
You're fighting around a sun. I'm pretty sure that would stop the swarm.
That could explode and whatnot. A swarm we get pretty stopped by a giant exploding sun.
Yeah. But no, I think I
try to slip that space, fucker.
I think I understand what this is and how it would be better. If this were an animated TV show, and this were the 7th episode. And they, 2 episodes ago, introduced Person B. And now, going into this fight, Person B died just so they could have a big fight between main character and Xanthor. I'm going to do that every time. Just so they could have that big fight. Because it didn't even end with either of them dying. Or anything major happening.
Nothing conclusive.
From the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, the only change in the status quo is the Alliance now has the Who chips.
And a couple people died.
But none of the main characters, except for 1, maybe 2. Because one of them, he was apparently dead, but then not. Because...
continuity's a bitch.
It is. Alright. I started my final thoughts 10 minutes ago. And we got a bit diverted.
I already did mine and whatnot.
I'll finish up, and you can finish up at the same time. What did we think in the way of, do we recommend this movie? I will say I don't recommend it, because there's... until Animen 2 comes out, and only if that gets universal fucking praise, will I say...
oh my god, why haven't we seen this?
See this Animen. But up till then...
last bit of this movie... as I said, it does nothing. It has a whole lot of nothing, and it ends up leaving no impression. So in reality, I don't know if that was what you guys were going for. And I don't knock you guys for trying something. Effort obviously was put into this. I don't deny that. But at the same time, though, I saw the amount of people you had working on this. I looked at the credits. You guys could have done a lot more. I've seen a lot more from a lot less over a long period of time. Have you seen some of the animated films that come up on YouTube? Some of the really great shorts? Actually, the Backwater Gospel is a really good one with a really interesting animation style. That one was done for a very select few people over a long period of time, but they did something good. It goes back again to the tenet of the 3 main philosophies here and whatnot. There's good, there's fast, and there's cheap. You can only pick 2. It's not a perfect world. Mm-hmm. So in reality, I don't know which ones you guys picked, but good apparently was left off the menu. So...
I would say this was only made in 2 years, so apparently fast was at least one of them.
Yeah, and to be honest, actually, I know how long animated movies take. And
how long good animated movies.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, though, this is an animation company. This isn't an independent film.
That was the one
This is a studio production.
That was the one thing. The production logos came up, and it was Gorilla Films, and then Hippo something.
So they got them for animals.
So, are all the characters going to be animals? And now that we read through the thing of how they're frogmen and cockroaches.
Yeah, they're all animals.
All of them are animals. Animen doesn't stand for animated men. It stands for animals. Men.
Yeah.
And on that
Animorphs.
On that bombshell, like, comment, subscribe, done the review. Animen, Galactic Battle, blah, blah, blah. Okay. For the end, we usually do a joke relating to the movie somehow, like we did for the opening. We got a real special thing. Since this was an animated movie.
We don't do many of those.
No. We decided we're going to put in the time, the effort, and the money into...
ShitFlix Animated.
ShitFlix Animated. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm David. And I'm Matt. We watched a movie today. But first, gay joke. I'm not gay, David. You aren't yet. Ha 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 ha. That's it. I'm gonna hit you. No, please. I love it so much. I love hitting you, David. Oh, yes.
No, that's not supposed to be like.
Let me live my dream,
now.
All the bad boys want some roll, it's tricky. And girls enjoy, they feel so lucky. Loving is wits rounding out that door.